To use a badly altered quote from Forrest Gump, Sega's like a box of chocolates. You never know what Sonic you're gonna get. So let's dive into Sonic Superstars and see exactly what we get in. Sonic Superstars is a 2D side-scrolling platformer that sees you travel through various stages to defeat Dr. Eggman, all while avoiding obstacles, defeating enemies, beating bosses, and collecting Chaos Emeralds, or at least accessing them via a giant golden ring. The zones are for the most part just standard environments. You have a very green zone, a casino zone, a water zone, and so on. Though there is an interesting retro future zone later in the game. While the zones aren't out of the ordinary, the actual stages themselves are well done. Starting off simply with easy to finish levels, not too much threat and plenty of spaces to go fast. But as the game progresses, the platform becomes more challenging. Not to a huge degree, but it ramps up enough, and the game is more involved than simply going fast. It requires more thought and judgment, and it seems that getting Sonic and company up to speed isn't the main focus, but to pay off the skillful navigation through the stages. The levels also have branching paths, meaning you have plenty of places to explore, or you can take a different route on subsequent playthroughs. Along with this, you have sections of stages that are easier accessed by different characters. Speaking of which, the game has 4 playable characters. They are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Sonic. They all have a unique ability, with Sonic's being the drop dash, Tails being able to fly and swim, Knuckles can climb walls and glide, while Amy has a Pico Pico hammer, which gives her a double jump, and the hammer acts similar to that of the Insta Shield that was introduced in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Holding jump as you land also allows Amy to continue using the hammer to pound the floor for a brief period of time. Speaking of characters, Fang, who's only appeared in a small number of Sonic games, makes his triumphant return in this. Along with Fang, you also have a new character named Trip. Both have teamed up with Dr. Eggman to get Chaos Emeralds and defeat the Sonic Squad. When it comes to the Chaos Emeralds, these are collected in the bonus stages, which are accessed through the giant golden rings during the stages. To get the Chaos Emeralds in the bonus stage, you have to chase them, not down a half pipe or around a stage, well, on foot. You use a sort of grapple beam to hook onto tiny blue balls and swing after the emerald. Again, these stages begin easily enough, but they do get progressively tougher, with adding in springs, which can sometimes be a help, sometimes a hindrance, and you have spiked balls that when latched onto, you don't swing but get pulled towards them and they explode. It slows you down. Rings are used to increase your time, which is constantly ticking down. If it reaches 0, you're ejected from the level with no emerald. These levels are okay. They aren't the most interesting bonus stages, but are sufficient enough to have a change of pace, even if 1 or 2 of them are a little frustrating at times. The other bonus stage you get is when you have enough rings and pass a checkpoint. These stages allow you to get medallions. The stages are based on the bonus stages of Sonic the Hedgehog and its spinning mazes. They've added a few little ideas with a switch that flips certain parts of the stage, or one that opens red blocks while closing off green blocks and vice versa. While these levels are familiar and again are serviceable enough, the music during them is awful. It's tolerable at first, but the more you do, the more and more grating it becomes. So much so I just avoided the stages. Chaos Emeralds in the Sonic series have generally been about giving Sonic the ability to become Super Sonic. In Superstars, they have had an upgrade. The emeralds now give you powers. These range from making clones that kill enemies and collect coins, becoming water-based, gaining the ability to breathe underwater and swim about too. These powers are handy but not necessary to finish levels. They help with trying to reach difficult areas and finding hidden platforms and rings. They even come in handy when facing bosses. They are fun to use and add a little extra level of diversity to the gameplay. You can get through the levels without them. The game also features 4-player co-op, which is hectic. Playing it solo is probably the best way to get a smooth playthrough of the game, as in you aren't having people steal your rings as you get hit, or it's zooming out to accommodate for the multiple players running about, or people grabbing the item boxes when they don't need them. It means you get a straight game where you can go at your own pace. Playing with others is great fun though. Having everyone running about together, helping each other get to difficult places, is enjoyable. It feels like two very different experiences. One is more focused, while the other is a jolly good romp with friends and or family. The only issue is it can be random on which character to follow at times, as some people will head down one path, and others will head on another. It will pick a random person and remove other players off the screen, as it can only zoom out so much. It's nothing major, but it can be a little irritating when you're heading towards a giant ring and bam, you are removed from the screen. Then there's the battle mode. It's a 4-player mode where you and your friends or people online play 3 rounds with different objectives to see who wins. It's by far the weakest part of the game. The game's pretty boring with little to no substance. The rounds I played were running about a small stage collecting the most amount of rings, followed by a race through one of the stages, and lastly getting the most KOs, with which you use a quick blast. It wasn't really enjoyable. Oh, and another thing, the medallions that I mentioned previously are used in the item shop. These are for purchasing hearts or robots, which you can then use in the battle mode, which is another reason why I avoided the bonus stages, because to be honest, it wasn't worth having to listen to that awful music to get very little reward. I don't have a lot of issues with the game generally, but I did have some glitches when playing in co-op. When underwater, someone could have the death timer on them, die by another means, and the timer will count down and kill another player. I also had another glitch where I fell through the floor and I was in a blue screen of death once, so it does have some bugs that need ironing out. The game is also nice to look at. It's colourful and interesting, and it has a really nice modern look of classic Sonic. I also enjoy the soundtrack, well, apart from the bonus stage. I'd recommend this as it's a genuinely good game and you will get even more joy out of it if you are a Sonic fan.